Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing good. Today we're going to draw, continue. I know there's interest on the face. We did the face last time from the front. I may do a video again on that. This time we're going to do it from the side. So the face from the side. So get your piece of paper. If you have a 9 by 12 piece of paper, you could fold it and cut it in half. This is half of that, which is 6 by 9, 6 inches by 9 inches. We've been working a lot in this size, but it comes out of one sheet of 9 by 12, okay, from a drawing pad. So you could always have extra on the side paper to sketch or you know do another work. So I have this piece of paper here on the side, and then I have the piece of paper that I'm going to work with. So these are the materials, right? Paper to draw. We're not painting today. So drawing paper, any paper could do, I guess. Try to keep it white or light, and not too thin. Not newsprint, because we're gonna use a pencil. Newsprint is too thin. Newsprint paper is too thin, and is the paper that is like the name calls it, like a newspaper. They use that paper for being economical, right? Um, in art, when you use newsprint, is for sketching with charcoal mostly because you don't put too much pressure and you're just sketching, so you're doing something very quick. But anyway, so get your paper, drawing paper, pencil, regular pencil. These yellow pencils that we are so used to, you see, have a number 2 in them. HB. It could be either HB or just the number 2 or the letter B. Okay, it should right there. And mine has been running out of the eraser, so I have an eraser and I have a pencil sharpener. I do personally have a electric pencil sharpener. So if you hear that, that's me using my pencil sharpener. But we're gonna take our piece of paper, which is rectangle, and this is horizontal, right? This is landscape, and we're gonna flip it vertical, portrait. So I'm gonna leave the camera so we could get the shot of the entire paper. Make sense? Because we're gonna draw a face on the side, the proportions for the side. Again, I'm gonna go over this. This doesn't mean that the face I'm gonna do is someone's face. It's gonna be very generic, but you have to adapt to whoever you're drawing. So um, if you're drawing someone from the side, um, there's uniqueness to it also. You could actually recognize someone just for their side silhouette. Let's call it silhouette. Um, get your materials. As you get your materials, right? Um, I'm going to talk about a project. Let's see if we could do this. Okay, I hope we could do this. But as we practice this, one project we could do in the future will be to um, I'll get a special paper in person, and I'll get it to you. It's going to be a paper thinner than this. One side is going to be white. One side is going to be completely black. This is a project for the future. So this class right here, this video is very important for you to practice. But imagine you're going to do the silhouette again of someone. It could be yourself, but you have to purposely take a picture from the side, which is not something common. Um, Passports, I know, ask for that. Um, but you're gonna, in the next project, right, related to this, you're gonna take a picture of some family member or yourself from the side. We're gonna draw it on the white side of the paper that I'll bring to you. It's a special paper. I'll tell you what paper it is. I don't have it with me right now, but I'll tell you what it is. So you get the idea if you want to get it and work on this ahead of time. But before I say that, imagine you draw that silhouette, right? The other side is completely black. So then what we do is we cut very carefully the outline that you just drew of the face, right? And then you flip the paper, and now you have a silhouette, a beautiful black silhouette of the person that you want to represent, um, or you love as a silhouette. This is a practice done. I mean, I could talk about it. I'll talk about it in the next project because there's a lot of history. But yeah, um, the paper, they sell paper special for this. You could also get, which is what I have, wrapping paper. So when you go and wrap presents, the wrapping gift paper is very, very thin. But if you notice, they sell paper now that have designs on both sides, but more likely one side is white and the other side have the design. So all you have to do is buy black gift wrapping paper, and that will do it. And then you could draw a silhouette, right? And then you cut it. Obviously, you have to cut it, and then you have to glue it to another paper. And I'm going to show you very quickly how it kind of looks like. I know you've seen this in the past or in pictures, but look at this. It will look like something similar to this. Um, you see, someone cut that girl's silhouette. This is like a child, but then you glue this black paper into the white paper. But there's adults too. You know, you could do adults. Um, that would be a nice little exercise. But anyway, okay. But this, right, that comes from drawing someone from the side. So let's get started. You got your paper, you got your eraser and pencil. So the proportions for the side should be the same proportions um, measurements that we had from the front. We should be able, if I had the other drawing next to me here, to kind of keep those lines going and actually match them from the side. Okay, so why don't we first start, and follow me here. Remember how we split the area in 3 sections first? That's how we started. We're gonna do that, but it's not the paper, because the paper will be like this. Will be here, 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. But we're gonna do the 3 sections inside the paper, smaller. So 1, 2, 3, you know. So I'm gonna draw a line anywhere, kind of down here, I guess, a little down, a little lower than the middle. And I'm gonna draw another one maybe here. And now I have this distance, and let me draw it darker so you can see. Remember, I'm doing this by eye. You don't have to, if you want to use a ruler, use a ruler, but I want you to get used to not using a ruler, so you use your vision. But I just drew 2 lines. But this now gives me the baseline, right, the reference, to replicate this distance 2 more times, because I said 3 sections, 1, 2, 3. Remember? So this distance, I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to put it up here again. So now you measure with your pencil. I have taught you this, and I'm going to continue doing it. So I pinch my pencil where this line is, and I keep an eye where that is, right? I bring it up. I got to take it on the side. Now I keep an eye where I'm putting my eye up here and focusing there. So then I could leave my pencil and mark. And I'm going to do that again. One more time. That should do it. So this line here, I know it was a little bit above it. And this line here kind of have the same distance. I didn't measure it by ruler, but it should work. Okay? Does that make sense? You see how we have three sections? 1, 2, 3. Let's just for the sake see. So it's 1 inch and almost a quarter. 1 and almost a quarter. 1 and almost a quarter. And 1 and almost a quarter. Actually, this should be a little lower. They both became a little longer than the first. It's okay. All right. So we have our three spaces. You know, the head from the side is interesting because it kind of fits on a square, you'll see. And there's a few squares that repeat. But let's start with what each one of these represent. So the middle one is the important one. I always emphasize this because it's the one that touches down here, the base of the nose, the bottom of the nose. And then up here, it's not the eye, but above the eye, like the bone that protrudes above your eye should be this line. Obviously, down here is the chin, because that's where our face or head ends, and everything in between here has the mouth and that sort of thing. Up here is the forehead, and then we need a little extra. Okay, like maybe I'm gonna say, let's see, half of this distances we have to bring back again here, and that's where our head ends, because about here half of this is where our head ends. Okay, let's start um, with the uh, our brow, where the eye comes out, and then the nose. And again, this is just a generic face. People are different, right? We're all different. So, and the face is going to be facing to the left. Okay, let's see, and we'll fix it as we go. Okay, so this is the kind of eyebrow, not eyebrow, like a forehead. uh, I go in like this. Okay, I make a curve, go in, and now I go out. Not too much, not too angle, because the nose is not that. But there's a curve here, and then the nose, and then now you gotta start curving the nose before you reach this point. Before you reach this line, you gotta start curving. You see, and that's it. Okay. Let's see. Head is gonna go back a little, not too much. You're gonna follow kind of like the same angle of the nose, you see, but not this pronounced, a little more, and a little more curve. So look, you see that? The nose goes this way, forehead goes that way, but in a curved manner. And actually, I could, to be honest, we could actually, let's see if I'm correct. We could actually bring this in more and get this out, up high. So down here, um, we're gonna draw a straight line now, okay? Not from here, but from the point where the eye meets. This point here is very important, right here, okay? Where the nose, the beginning of the nose from the top, right here. You're gonna draw a line straight down. Has to be straight, and the way you know it's straight is because it has to be um, perpendicular, right, to the other lines that are here. It has to cut across in 90 angles, you see. Okay, so what that allows us is to know that the way the mouth comes out goes back into the chin. So our chin will be in here, you see. Otherwise, you will have done it over here. And what's here is the mouth. Yes, it protrudes, um, but the chin should go in here. You could actually keep drawing this line on the way up, and it kind of helps you see how far you're going with the forehead. But anyway, the mouth is going to be interesting because you see how we do in the chin inside this corner here. We're going to go in and out just a little. Then you have a bump for the upper lip, a little bump for the upper lip, and the next bump is the lower lip. But guess what? It has to be a little bigger. Okay, it has to be a little bigger. I'm going to lower this chin. Okay, I need space here. Something's happening. Let's see. It's okay. You see how the lower bump is a little bigger than the one on top? And the mouth is like a heart on the side. So I'm gonna do it first. Look, I'm gonna put a line here. Okay, just a short line. But if I were to close this a little bit lightly in the upper one, if I lift it like this, it kind of looks like a little heart. See that? Like a heart. If I were to close this here. Okay, so we have our mouth, nose. We know where the eye goes in here, forehead. um, let's do the uh, bridge of the nose, the opening. So right here, we need to close the nose with a kind of like a letter, opposite letter C right here like this. And then this. So what I did was I made this shape, which is like a half moon, pretty open curve. And the same curve is kind of down here, and this is our opening where we breathe, right? Now our eye is not up here or here or here. It's kind of like down here. So you could make an oval or an egg, like right there. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to do a square. Remember this line? We're going to do a square here. Actually, give me 1 second. The square will be, okay, yeah, the square will be from the bridge of the nose here to the bottom of the mouth, okay, where the chin starts. I'm going to draw another line here for my square. And this has to be a square, so maybe about here. I don't know. This I'm going to measure just to be sure. So I have 1 and a little bit over 3/4. 1 and a little bit over 3/4. 1 and a little bit over 3/4. Perfect. Yeah, it's right there. So this is my square. Now, why is this important? A square that goes from the bottom of our mouth, not the chin, the mouth right here, to the bridge of our nose, and this line here. Because um because right here, this corner is the mandible. You know, like that curve. If you touch yourself under your ear and you curve your jaw, this is the curve. This right here is letting us know where that curve is. You see? Can you do that curve here? I'm not sure if the curve goes inside or outside, but I'm gonna put it right in it just to be safe. Sorry. I'm gonna put it right there. But that's the curve. And I'm drawing this line here just to represent our jaw. The jaw, kind of like there. Okay. And the other key why that square is important, besides the jaw, right? Look at the square. I could make it very dark so you could actually see it, but this curve here is the jaw, and this is very important because when we do our neck, we refer to this so the neck doesn't look too weird because this is right in the middle, you know, of our neck. And the other reason for the square, when you think about it, is because rather than the bottom of the mouth, if you look at the bottom of your nose, this line, I know this is not a square, but this line to the right of the square is where our ear fits. So our ear would actually fit height from the bridge of our nose up here to the bottom of the nose. So our ear should be here. You see that? Right here is our ear. I'm gonna make it obviously more looking like an ear, but and it's past this line and it's proportionate. I mean, they're all different, but the shape of the ear, let me draw it here. It's kind of like a question mark, a little. It's just that when you come around like this here, you need to make like another round circle here. So there's a big round circle up here, goes around like a coffee mug holder right here. And then when you go down, just make sure that you do another curve. When this is the lobe. Sorry, I think it's called the lobe where earrings will go in, right? So this is the shape of an ear, sorry. And then the inside, we could go. I could draw if I have extra time. We'll draw an ear from the side, okay? So let's not worry about the inside now. But I'm gonna make this shape the shape of an ear, so it makes sense. Loop, big, come down, and then the lobe. See that? We're gonna do the inside in a moment. Remember I said there's a little half. So this is one section, 2, 3, and there was a little bit half of this up here. So this is the top of our head. You know, you can make it round, round, round. But when you come around here and you wrap around the ear, then you start opening up a little for your neck. Okay, because the neck, like I said, this was, remember that I said the jaw was the middle, the corner here. So this goes down, and then what happens here for our throat? You could go straight for now, right here, but then you got to come down in an angle. In an angle. You see that? And there's actually a tendon, a huge tendon that turns our head, that goes from down here, from the clavicule up, and hides behind the jaw here, under ear. So you could actually feel it. It's actually what's under your ear when you touch yourself here, but it's hiding behind this. And when you turn your head, you could actually see it. So it's something to keep in mind. All right, so the eye from the side will be kind of like this. This is the lens of the eye looking to the left, and then down and down. So it's like a triangle, like a pizza slice, but you got to make sure that the top angle is going more down than the bottom. So this is what I'm trying to say. Instead of doing it like this, which is symmetrical, you see that? We're going to do it like this, where the top goes down and the bottom doesn't go up that much, kind of stays straight. Can you see the difference? Let me bring this closer. In this one, which is what I want, the bottom is straight and the top is what's going down. In this one, the bottom and the top are both kind of in an angle. So we don't want that. We want this. Okay. So why don't we start with making the first straight line? You see the bottom line. And if you need to move your eye after you draw it, that's fine for proportional purposes. But it needs to be back here. Don't bring it too close to the nose. It gotta be back here. Okay. So this is down. I made a straight line. Now I'm gonna make a curve for the length, our pupil. And now I'm gonna go down. You see? In reality, the bottom one is not completely straight, you know. It tilts a little bit up. So if you want to do that, just be careful. Don't emphasize too much the bottom to go up. So I'm going to do this again. Lens, or our pupil. The bottom, I'm going to raise it a tiny little bit. And the top is going to go down. There you go. See that? Now, if this were the eye, let's do it here. Kind of straight, and the top goes down. This is the eye lens, right? Our pupil. Then you need to come up and do the opposite on the other side, like this, because we're looking at it from the side, right? So now I do this. Look, you see how it looks, and that's our pupil. Now the trick here is that this line here above the eye, sorry, that makes this, you're gonna expand it up here and curve it. And where our eyebrow rests, looking in from the side. So it's going to be curved going up. And this one is going to be curved going down. Okay, so I'm going to do that very slightly here. Let me make a close-up. There you go. So I'm going to make this curve. See? And I'm going to make this curve down a little. And our eyebrow will be all here. That's our eyebrow. Okay. If we want to make this a female, then you kind of emphasize the eyelashes here, I guess, you know, a little bit. And remember, you make this darker, this line. You could start. So this is what this actually point marks. Remember the three sections, 1, 2, 3. This top one, that is not this is not the limit of the head, right? It doesn't stop there. It stop a little bit higher. Stop another half of this. So half of this will be go up here. But then this point on the head is where you can start bringing the hair out. So kind of like the widow's peak, or if it doesn't have a widow peak, the person, that's fine. But this is where the hair starts coming out. So we're gonna raise the head above the crane of the head or skull. So it's gonna be up because there's hair, right? So we're gonna raise it. Look, the bottom up here too. I could tie a ponytail here. And then bring hair in, and then the way hair comes in here is in, see, and then bring like a little eye, what is this called? Side, not from a male beard, but like a little sideburn here between the ear, right here. It should be curvy too, or you know, represent something that's coming above the ear. Okay, you get the idea. But now we're gonna make this maybe curls, bulky here, and you make curves. I'm making curls like this, and then lift it. You see, like it's a curl, and then another one. And then if this goes this way, this goes this way, the other one goes the other way. You know? Okay, let's make our ear actually touch these lines. It needs to be a little bit bigger. We're gonna fill in the ear and draw an ear. So get your side paper. And once we draw our ear on the side paper bigger, then we can do it over here, okay? But this is kind of like the, let me draw the lines so you can see them. We divide the head in 3. So 1, I'm gonna make it darker for you. 1, 2, 3, sorry, 1, 2, and the third one was here, which help us know where the hair starts. And then half of this, you see half of that, I brought it up here. Okay. Then we drew a line here that goes from the very important point of the base, sorry, the beginning of the nose on the top. And then we drew another line here that made the square. And this is the square from the bottom of your mouth. Right here is the square. Everybody sees the square? The square is actually this. So from this bridge to the bottom of your mouth, there's the jaw, and there's here. But this helps us to see, right, where the ear cannot go forward, has to be behind this line, between the nose and the bridge of the eyes. Okay. Let's do an ear. So an ear, we said that it was kind of like the loop of the coffee mug. But when you come close to this, imagine there's an imaginary line here, imaginary. As you come close to this point down here, you gotta stop and make a round lobe where, you know, kind of the ear angles like this here. And everybody has different lobes. Actually, you know, some of them have a lot of, you know, round. Some of them don't have. Some of them, this part here, this is attached to the skin. This is one of the most distinctive traits in humans, the ear, especially the bottom part. There's been cases of children lost. There's no DNA or whatever to prove it, but the adult comes after decades and say, I am the child that got lost. And just because of this characteristic, right, they have proven, there's been many cases that prove that the person, it is or is not who they say they are. Right here, this connection between the neck and the bottom of your ear. So once you have this base main shape, this is very important. We're gonna do the same thing. Sorry, the same kind of like curve. We're gonna stop about here inside. So look. About here, you have to stop. So again, this is a generic ear. You know, there's people ears differentiate a lot with what happens here. So now bring this line in. Okay, up to here, not too much in, like up to here. Now our ear, the whole of our ear, for where we actually hear, is right about here. It's not touching this imaginary line. It's about here. Okay, but if you notice your ear, if you look at it or you touch it, there's like a little wall that covers it and protects it from this side. So we're gonna do that wall, and that wall is gonna be short. It's gonna be up from here to here, and it's like curvy halfway through. So watch, it's gonna come out, curve, and go back in. It's kind of like that, not this big though. When it curves, is that the side here is not straight. Kind of, you touch your, as you draw, touch your ear. I just touched myself in my ear and I can feel this curve here, right? So it goes bump, curve, down. Now, as it goes down, make a little loop. You can feel it. Make a little loop, curve, up. And I'm gonna start erasing this a little because it shouldn't have gone out down this much. This line, the skin curves, right? It's bumpy, it's curved, it's like a loop. But as it comes down here, it kind of blends in. Sorry, it flattens out with your skin. So what's happening here is that what's behind this is our actual ear drum, you know, like the hole. So this will be dark. Later we'll shade this because basically what I'm saying is in the here where that arrow is pointing is where we hear. But this is very important here. So I went, did my wall, come down, make a loop, bump, come down, curve, 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 and go right there. So this curves here and this curves here. It's an amazing, you know, nature design. So this curves here. And now I'm gonna, you see how this is curved here? I'm gonna do the same curve from inside here, this line, up to about here. And what's happening here in different people differ, you know, it's different. It's not, sometimes it's very pronounced, sometimes it doesn't, it's not pronounced. This here, you know. And then between these two things, these two lines, there's maybe like a loop here. And that's it, that's our ear. This loop, again, may be different from some people, are more pronounced than others, but that's it. And now we shade. So this is very dark up here, down here, sorry, because, and I'm gonna start shading it softer because this is where we hear. So it's a hole, it's down here. I'm gonna shade between these curves. I'm gonna shade along here a little bit. Just shade a little bit of gray. I'm gonna shade this area. I'm gonna shade this curve. I'm gonna shade, sorry, this over here. Doesn't it look like an ear? Like as an ear, sorry. Yeah, and if it's a female, then you could put an earring, you know. But this is what an ear looks like. I'm gonna bring it so it could like kind of focus. Sorry. And you could maybe pause it. You could pause the video and really look at it and copy it right here. Okay, this is really dark because this in here is where there's a deeper hole. This is shaded to protrude this out. Shade it around, shade it down here, so this sticks out, right? And there's a curve here, very important. You could touch your ear and feel it. Okay, so now that we know this, let's make this ear down into this um, um, profile picture. Okay, so I'm gonna make my curve. And I gotta say, in portraits of females, they do this now still. They cover the ears with the hair, and in medieval times, they will paint and cover their hair, sorry, their ears. And nothing wrong with ears, but to emphasize the beauty of the face, you want to eliminate any distraction, so you will cover the ears, you know. So there's a lot of portraits still, where you don't see the ears of the female. The man doesn't really matter, but it's just it adds to the beauty if you concentrate only on the face. And the hair helps because the hair obviously is an excuse to cover the ears. If not, they will they will wrap around something on the head. Look at a lot of medieval um, portraits. So this comes down, remember, and kind of stops around here. Now I go back to the little loop where our opening is. Make that little door, go down, go up, curve right here. Make the loop here and make the other line about here. And that's our ear. I'm gonna give her an earring, see? And I'm gonna darken this like I'm gonna shade everything like we shade our big ear. And that's it. We have a little time to do an eye if you want from the side. Um, okay, so this is the ear. Now I'm gonna do an eye. And I'm gonna go a little faster at the beginning because we already discussed the eye from the side, sorry. So we said that it was the lens, right? The pupil here. The bottom is a little raised, just a tiny bit, but the top goes down in an angle right here. So this is our eye from the side. We said then to do the opposite, to go, if you go like this, go like that for the pupil. Yep. We also said, are you here with me? I know I'm going a little faster, sorry. So this is our eye. We said we will curve up this as the bump of our eyelid. But if you could do one and then the other, that's fine too. Two, because there's a fold. If you touch your eyelid, there's a fold there. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine also. You could just do one curve like this. And the bottom has one, two. For the female, we said to emphasize the top line darker, which represents eyebrows. Sorry, eyelashes, 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 eyelashes. We have eyelashes at the bottom, a few, and at the top we have longer ones. So we have eyelashes on the bottom of our eyes, but they're not emphasized as much as the top one. So I'm making these ones longer because this is a female, but men has them too, you know. Okay, so here in the eye, you could make the pupil, the actual black circle here. And what we're going to do is we're going to shade. Remember how we shade the top when we did the face from the facing forward? So we're going to shade dark the top, not all of it, just the top. And you could shade this line too, but you're going to emphasize the top being dark, 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 and coming down lighter. What this means, making this dark up here, is that all of this above the eye casts a shadow. Okay, it's up to you if you want to create a highlight. Remember, with the eraser, the highlight represents that there's an eye source, sorry, an light source. Is the reflection of a light in the room. Doesn't that look more realistic? We could curve this, doesn't have to be perfectly straight. You know, and then what's happening here is that this is where this right here is a bridge of the nose. I'm just doing it to make you see how this person, And then the eyebrow, sorry, the eyebrow kind of shapes like that. But you get the idea. This is the eye that I did here. Okay, I'm wrapping it up. I thought this was useful. Save your drawing, look at the video again, do another face if you want. You can maybe make the lines, and before you draw the head, draw the lines proportionally that we said. You know, one section, two, three sections, half of the section up here. So one, two, three, half of one of them. You see, one, two, three. Split this one bottom one in half, which is represents the bottom of the nose, you know, and then draw the face on top of your lines. We did both. We did the face as we were drawing the lines because I was teaching you that way. But if I were to cut this woman's silhouette, this is very generic. Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, right? And then the paper on this side was black. I could take this cutout and glue it into a white paper, and I will get the silhouette that I told you will be a nice project to do. You see something like this. And this represents obviously someone specifically in your family, or they usually do this with children, you know, but okay. Yeah, so that will be a project in the future to do and look back at this exercise. Watch the video, you could pause it, you could go back, you know. If I was going too fast, I apologize, but it's to make sure that we do finish by the end of it. We did the head on the side, the ear, the eye. We have done the face from the front. There's a video of it, but I'll do another one. And these lines that we just did should match the face facing forward. So it should be the same. It's like if she just turns her head, right? But there's a few other things to keep in mind. So I thought this was, I hope this was helpful. I'm bringing this closer so you can see the characteristics. And you could always change this depending on the person you're representing, you know. Okay. Have a great day. Thank you. Keep drawing. Do the same project more than once, please, and that makes you get better at it.